Although I thought the movie Mousetrap was actually gonna receive the title Worst Movie of this year, an unknown outsider came along called Trap to snatch it right in front of that movie, which for some incredible reason has a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. But if you watch the movie, you will know it is the most boring, most lifeless, and perhaps the worst movie created in a century. Because what is really the only reason for making this movie? I can tell you about that. It is about m.night Shyamalan promoting his daughter's music in the movie. No other reason than that. It is just not for making a movie. The very first problem with this lifeless movie is of course the pacing. You are at the concert event with this lady Raven figure, and it takes a whole lot of time before there's actually anything happening in the movie. So when the father starts acting strange, he starts stealing stuff and everything, but the little small version of tension they try to create does not happen until about an hour into the movie, when he and his daughter Riley is driven in Lady Raven's limousine and they go to their own house. If we talk about what's happening in the movie, it might give you the indication that it is this terror on a concert kind of thing, but it turns out it is indeed a single Lady Raven in this case that is kind of trapped by the butcher, who actually is the dad of the little girl Riley. Shocker! We already knew that inside 10 minutes. That of course leads us on to another problem that you quickly lose interest early on because the movie is extremely predictable. It becomes that right at the start because it is so extremely obvious that the dad is the butcher when he is acting all strange, living out on Riley all the time, stealing the police walkie-talkie, and a key card from the guy at the t-shirt stand, which kinda ruins the excitement in the movie because then you already know. And you don't need a blind search to find a butcher because the audience already knows right away. One thing, also, if this is supposed to be a psychological thriller, you need to make it way darker. Yes, some scenes at the end between a wife and a butcher may be a bit darker when she reveals all those secrets she already know, that he was two different persons in the one, and when she saw blood on the clothes. But that's an extremely little part of the movie, and you should have seen more of that. Maybe how to kill the victims instead of all this teenage movie with a lot of screaming and perhaps 7% horror thriller elements. If we mention some of the actors here, yes, the main character may act okay, but this profile who plays Dr. Josephine Grant with a lifeless Cockney accent is just dead hopeless in this movie and does not fit in it at all. And I guess it is just done because we need to force women into strong lead roles in movies nowadays. You could also say a lot of words about this Lady Raven character, which is like a bad version of Dua Lipa with extremely bad laughter songs. At least if she tried to use this movie to promote her music, she could at least make it a bit more entertaining. But I guess when teenage girls is supposed to be crazy about you, you need to make lifeless pop music. In addition, this TikTok live stream event, which is done by Raven and a movie, where she streams live to find out who the butcher is tied to a chair waiting to die. It is just very, very cringe. You should just rather keep that on TikTok and leave it at a most. This scene is actually done instead of seeing what happens when Riley and her dad start yelling at each other. That scene is only heard through the door, which just shows how this movie fails to focus on the important scenes, which of course wouldn't have made it extremely much better, but at least a bit. By and large, this movie was a suffering to get through. Why it has a 6 out of 10 is a mystery to me. But if it was all rated by a bunch of teenage girls screaming wild like in the concert in this movie, it would make a whole lot more sense. But for me, like The Mousetrap, it is a 2 out of 10 and one of the worst movies I've seen in a very long time. Actually,